Morning. How you guys doing? I wanted to discuss with the group basically why you as a single father should not date single mothers. I had a situation to where I was married to a single mother, and I have the mentality that a lot of you guys had, where it was like, I got a kid, she got a kid, we could get together and make this thing work, because I'm not more on the market than she is or whatever, but with time, I came to find out different because you see, as men, we structure our children. We teach our kids respect, and we do not allow disrespect of anybody, for that matter, from our children. We aren't gonna tolerate it. We instill discipline, we instill values, and at the time, I was a single father of a daughter. At the time that me and my ex met, uh, our children were both about 7 or 8 years old. And as time progressed, see, what I started to notice is that I would be undermined. And as I was being undermined by this woman with her son, my daughter was watching. Okay? So every time this child, because eventually with time, what the child will do if they see that their mother, is sort of siding with them and taking their side on things, what'll happen is this kid will form an opinion in his mind that he can do whatever the hell he wants inside the household that in most cases you are paying for. And no matter what he does, he's gonna get away with it. Disrespect, in my case, writing on the walls, doing all sorts of stuff. You'll go to chastise the kid, and the mother will undermine you at every angle. And here's where things get dangerous for us as single fathers. Because what ends up happening is you have built the discipline, you have built the respect within your kids, and your kids look at you and they say, you know what, let's not go against what dad says because dad doesn't play. But what's going on when you got this woman in your space with this child that doesn't have to follow the same rules as your children start to see that you can be tried. And because you do not have the uh, authority to discipline her children, your child gets to see what happens when you are not able to discipline. They also get to see what is being used against you. In most cases, you got women that'll give you an undertone of police. If you try to check my child, if you try to tear his butt up for him doing things, if you even so much as yell at him, it's looked at, like you did something. Don't talk to her kid a certain way, but her kid could talk to you any kind of way and get away with it. You know. Now I know what some of you guys are saying. Oh yeah, these young kids, they're so innocent. It's not that. See, and see, a lot of you guys, you got these girls when these kids are young, right? And you're spending money on them while they're young, while they're innocent, while they're not trying to buck the system and disrespect. Well, for you guys that are in that category at this time, dating a woman with young kids, I would say wait until the kid's a teenager and then see. Because that is what messed me up. You know what I mean? When we got together, these kids were sort of obedient, but when it got to a stage to where I really need for this woman to have my back, she didn't. And you can start off as nice as you want to be, but as time progresses, the more and more disrespect that you end up having to deal with, it builds, and eventually you will become a shadow of your former self. You will no longer be yourself, bro. You will be, your boundaries would have been breached so many times that you would lose yourself. Which means that when this kid talks trash to you, you would want to knock him upside their head. You're going to want to do something to him. Because as they get older and they're teenagers, they're no longer babies no more. But in her mind, he's still a baby. but he's a baby talking like an adult. And although she will say for you to make sure that the children stay in the child's place, in my case, that was one thing that always came out of her mouth. A child should stay in a child's place, but for some reason she can never ever, correct that within her child. In the grand scheme of things, things got so bad I had to get the hell up out of there. But she made sure that she took half. Now, while we were together, most women will boast about she wants a man that's a provider, pay 100%. I will never ever advise for you to do that when it comes to being a stepfather, bro. Because in the end, after I paid 100%, she divorced and she took half of my retirement. She took half of my TSP. She took half of the house, which she totally refused to even pay, even for like anything. Not a repair, not a nothing. She just, and even when it, and like even anything happening with this kid's room, she didn't want to help. She didn't want to do nothing. And yeah, in most men's minds, they're like, oh, well, you're the man. You're supposed to provide and protect. Yes, you're supposed to provide and protect for your woman, your children. If you were doing it for her children and she's allowing you to disrespect, she's allowing them children to disrespect you, you shouldn't have to protect them. Imagine someone break up in your house and a kid that could talk all sorts of trash to you, could curse you out if need be, right? You're supposed to take a bullet. You're supposed to step in front of danger for this child. Nah, man. Being a stepfather used to be an honorable thing. And you're going to have a lot of women in this modern day come out and say things like, oh, well, I came up with a stepfather and we adored him. Yes, that is because at that time, stepfathers were appreciated. They were respected. I mean, even in my case, my mom, she was married to another man other than my father. But my mother would never allow us to disrespect that man. And she knew, like even if we came to saying please and thank you, she made sure that we stayed on top of that. This new generation of women nowadays, most of them are raised by single mothers. So they're not really trained on how to be a wife. What they're trained to do is to be professional extractors of resources. And so it's your choice, bro. If you decide you want to deal with a single mom because you're a single father, that's fine. That's up to you, bro. But you can't say that you haven't been warned if you've seen this video or seen so many other videos. Because I can tell you this, man. It's one thing if you have authority over those children. You don't. And you know what? Even if at the beginning she plays that, when you guys get married, if she feels like the rules you're putting down is too much, if she feels like what he did wasn't disrespectful to you, if she feels anything, she can change her mind at any given time and use that veto power. And anytime she decides that she's going to undermine you with her child will start to grow and understand that they could get away with anything when it comes to dealing with you. So, I mean, I'm just letting you guys know. I know there's going to be some men that say, oh, no, oh, well, if you naturally authoritative, she going to naturally fold to your... No, that's not how it works, bro. There's police, and there's a lot of masculine women out here that what they do is they supplement their masculinity with other things. Like, oh, I could talk trash to you, but if a man talks trash to you and you guys are get ready to get into fisticuffs or whatever, that's what it is. This woman ain't gonna get into no damn fisticuffs for you. That's what the police is for. So when her child is being disrespectful and you go to check him and she steps in between and says no, or when she's doing things, allowing this child to get away with things, and you're telling her she got to leave and she said her child ain't going nowhere, you decide that you want this kid to go live with the father, and she decide, you're stuck, bro. You're stuck. So if you totally feel like you just have to be with a single mother, my advice to you is, if you're gonna be with her, yeah, be with her, right? But don't marry her until them kids are outside of the house, bro. Don't marry her until them kids are outside of the house. I know, prenup, right? Prenups get thrown out, bro. Yeah, if you have a thorough prenup, but I mean, come on, man. You're a single father, and more than likely, you're probably paying child support, or these kids are all on you. Um, Left me in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm paying all of these bills and I'm doing all of these things by myself. And I don't know if you know, but Florida is a very expensive state to live, man. And in the end, after paying everything, she got to take half. All of her debts are paid, and she's living a different life now. And right now, I'm living a life and playing. I'm basically playing catch up right now, financially, because I was set back so far, trying to be a good man. It's up to you guys if you want to do this. If you don't want to do it, man, I wouldn't suggest you do it. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Peace.